in mind.
You're here. This is Time Out with Southern Technical College. Thank you for joining on this exclusive podcast with the Da Vinci machine. Today we're going to go over a little bit about some discussions about the Da Vinci and what is the Da Vinci. So this is an exclusive. We're so privileged to be here at Shore Point, Port Charlotte, located in Florida. And this hospital has given us the privilege to look at the Da Vinci Xi. So this podcast is going to involve that. This is an extension from our field trip, Dr. T, on the Da Vinci trip. We're going to have some students coming out of class soon and talk a little bit what they experienced, maybe just a little bit information about, the Da Vinci in general. What did you think about that Da Vinci field trip?
I want to tell you, Brad, that was awesome. I mean, I'm a podiatrist. They never used the Da Vinci in my day. But basically, when we went there with the students and the instructor and him letting them do hands-on on the Da Vinci, and the type of how the instrumentation, how it's worked again to help with surgeons, it was very educational and enlightening. I think it was great to see it and how it was used.
Well, again, we're here at Southern Technical College. There's a lot of people walking in and out of here, so we're going to interview some people, have a little conversation about the Da Vinci. I think the Da Vinci is a good technology that's come about over the years. I think everything's kind of going towards that minimum invasive type of surgery. The Da Vinci is probably going to be top of the line. Obviously, there's other companies out there, and there's someone talking. Will, sit on down. We have a conversation with you. No, I'm just joking.
Sit in here? Come on, Will.
Will, yeah, come on, Will. Introduce yourself, Will. Tell them a little bit about yourself and what's your philosophy about everything in life.
Oh, okay. So my name is Will Thomas. I'm from Texas, and I work here as an admissions representative at Southern Technical College, and easy, laid-back guy. Like to have fun. Like to go to the beach, play a little golf.
There you go.
Just be absolutely twice a week at least, and just like to stay positive and work hard.
Let me ask you a question there, Will. Some of the students that come in for surgical technology, what do you think makes a good student? Like, what are you looking for? That can everyone become a surgical technologist?
You gotta have the want to be able to study. You have to have the stomach, most definitely, to be able to understand what's going on in the gut, that type of stuff. I also think that you got to be able to have some grit with you in the surgical room to handle some of those doctors yelling at you or those intense situations. So it takes a unique individual, I think, to be able to handle those tight situations in the surgical room. So,
Will, we're being interrupted by the people in the lobby here.
I can talk loud if I need to.
And what do you think? Something motivating to that student out there? If someone's trying to contact you, how would they contact you?
Hey, look, if you're looking to change your life and get into the career that you really want to get into, or at least a stepping stone of a career that you want to get into, this is a place to do it. You can go to our website, and also you can come and check out what we have to offer here at Southern Technical College.
Outstanding, Will.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep, absolutely.
So the Da Vinci, on the end of the video, we're going to put a little bit of what we went over. We have some students coming in right now. So let's interview these students. We have Cam Newton. And, come on, sit down. Okay. We have two questions. Natasha, you're next. You can be the audience. So I'll introduce yourself. There's some things I'll edit out in between, so I make it classy, so to speak. So just go ahead. Obviously, we're going to speak over the mic. So go ahead and introduce.
Oh, this is your mic?
This is my mic. So we have a student that was at the Da Vinci field trip, and she's going to introduce herself and maybe just give her feedback. Did she understand anything at this Da Vinci field trip? Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
All right, so my name is Cameron. During the Da Vinci, we got to see how it functions and basically be in the chair as a surgeon and get to try it out ourselves.
So what do you think of the Da Vinci? Is it something that is technology that's going to keep on going? Is it, what specialty does it branch into? What's your knowledge besides what we saw of the Da Vinci?
So definitely I think it's gonna take over the Da Vinci. I feel like that's gonna be used more often for laparoscopic, like abdominal cases. And it is definitely easier for a surgeon to use that. And relax while they're in surgery.
So was it intimidating? Was it something that you think you can't learn, or something you can kind of learn over time?
At first it was definitely intimidating until I actually got to sit in the chair and try it out. I thought that was really cool. It's a lot more simple than what it seems to look like.
Dr. T, do you want to add something to Cam's? The dollar.
Yeah.
Oh, so there was a situation where they zoomed in on that. That scope is about $35,000 scope. And that was a 5.0 scope. So they zoomed in. What was your impression about zooming in on that dollar bill?
That was pretty cool. I did not know that it zoomed in that much. That would definitely be helpful during surgeries because the human eye actually cannot see that close a thing. So if anything, the robot would help me.
So Cam, let me give you a little bit of a leadway here. Look into the camera there and tell students, Natasha, you can tell her, she's standing right here, some advice, maybe a student that's going to be coming down the line. We have 20 coming down the line soon. What advice would you give to that student?
Don't give up. Keep going. Really study. I mean, it's really, really good to, be informed and other things in what you're learning. Try to think outside the box. Think about what you're going to be doing, what the material that you're learning about, how it's going to help you in this career. And just always try to stay motivated, because if you're not motivated, that can make you feel like you're not going anywhere, and motivation is the key to success.
Natasha's going to introduce herself, give a little background where you're from. Cam did, and she just said, I'm Cam. I'm with Natasha. She was also at the Da Vinci field trip, so she's going to give her a brief little introduction, where she came from. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Natasha Ortiz. I'm originally from Miami, but now I'm in Northport. The Da Vinci program, being able to watch him explain and demonstrate how to use the machine was very interesting. Being able to see the 3D imaging on the camera and how to actually use it and how far it can zoom in was amazing. You really got to get a feel for what it's like to be in surgery.
Do these field trips obviously prepare you a little bit more? Is it like you're getting hands-on things? Would you like to see more field trips like the Da Vinci in the future?
I would love to see more field trips. I mean, you can only read about it and get so much information. Like, you can say it's a big machine. You don't know till you're really in there how big it really is, how much room it takes up, like the cables, where they fall, how everything works. You really can only get it through experience, through being there, seeing it in action. Like, if field trips just make it so much easier for me to put myself in that position and imagine myself in that surgery real time, or in any case where you need to use them no matter what we're learning about.
Well, Natasha is actually on the lower of the age group. Does your age really make a difference? Obviously, you're 18, right? Or
I turned 19.
You're 19 years old. Is this too overwhelming for you at 19 years old?
I don't think it's overwhelming, but it is being at 19, people do kind of look down on me for my age, and I am a very playful person. I'm very out there. So people tend to look at me and think, oh, you're childish. I'm like, yeah, but I can be serious at times, and being able to separate myself in a serious situation like an OR versus in the classroom versus just hanging out with friends or talking with my classmates is very important. And I feel like people sometimes don't see that side of me.
Time to play and there's a time to work. We're going to finish up here, okay? Just look in the camera. Tell something about yourself. No, tell something motivated. You already did that. Tell something motivated. Hey, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Is 5 years too long? Where do you see yourself tomorrow? No.
Tomorrow? Here. I'm going to be here tomorrow.
Oh, where do you see yourself in the future? First assist, nursing program?
I would like to be a first assist. Oh, I got a really high picture. I would like to be a first assist. I mean, being more hands-on in surgery and having that trust of the surgeon and the other nurses in the room would be amazing. I do want to travel. I want to travel and see kind of the whole United States.
You're gonna go visit Crystal, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go visit Crystal in California. I don't know. It all depends. I want to get that real-time experience and see how it goes first before making any major life decisions, obviously.
Outstanding. Thank you. Just to let you know, on the Da Vinci Dr. T, there will be a video at the end of this podcast that kind of shows us what we went through on our field trip. It's kind of hard to kind of listen to, but on Spotify, you actually can watch the video. Hogan, right, was a rep that was there as a Da Vinci rep. He went over all this information with the students. between what the Da Vinci is, some background, some history, where it came from, where it's going in the future. Just kind of a basic kind of demonstration. There will be a video at the end. It's a little hard to hear, so we do apologize, but we're still going to put it on at the end of the podcast.
Brad, I was kind of curious because you being the surge tech, actually, how was a surge tech involved with the Da Vinci? I mean, besides draping, can you give them a little bit of information about that?
Yeah, so obviously, traditionally, most Da Vinci teams look for someone that's specialized in it. And I'll give you an example. A first assist and maybe a back table would be a surgical technologist. And there's a difference of those two. The first assist typically puts the instruments within the ports that go into the body cavity. In the past, they really wanted, and still they want people with experience, but they kind of lean towards people with like a first assist degree. I think the trend is most hospitals are trying to get everyone trained in the Da Vinci. Why is that? I think it helps the doctors out. It's kind of leaning towards, it's a more of a minimum invasive surgery most doctors are trained in, but they want to have the ability to have it on call, which means if they have a call team come in and they're not trained in the Da Vinci, obviously that's an option that doctor can't use. So it's in their interest to have everyone have a training within that Da Vinci system. So when they go on call, they get a call in the middle of the night, they can still use that minimum invasive technology. Now it's just an upper level of laparoscopic. Maybe do some research on that, but the Da Vinci has a lot more articulations with the instrumentation, so a lot more doctors are becoming more trained on that.
What I was wondering about is he showed us some really high-tech cartridges that fit into the arms of the Da Vinci. The machine itself, he said, was over $2 million. And then he had talked about the cartridges again that basically were slid into the arms of the machine to be used. As a surge tech, when you take those cartridges, do you set those up on your back table or do you put them in, or how does that work?
So they're called manipulators. They're different arms. They're just an extension of certain instruments you use in surgery, like, a bipolar forceps, Alice clamps. So those are manipulators. So mainly the person that's up at the field, when I say up at the field, at the patient itself, we'll put those into those arms. There's 4 arms on them, those 4 ports. So and if you know a laparoscopic, it really is just an extension of that with the arms, right? You have the different ports. You have 5 millimeter ports. You have 12 millimeter ports. It varies on what you're doing surgery-wise. So when they come out, they will go on the back table. And that tech in the back usually is organized in the back, right? Maybe they're anticipating going open. They're really just making it easy for that person that's up at the field. You're handing them sutures, you're handing them those instruments so they can just focus by looking on the monitor, because you put those arms into those ports, you just can't stab it into the belly. You have to observe it under observation on a camera, and that takes some time. So that tech on the back is really just keeping that first assist organized. When stuff comes out, you'll hand it to him. If he needs another instrument, you'll hand it to him. And that's usually how it goes. So.
What about the training on the Da Vinci? Remember he had said that there's some surgeons that basically have not been trained, and it takes about a 2-day or 3-day period of training again for them starting to get to use it. And
I'm not an expert on what the doctor goes through, but I know doctors are coming out of their training with Da Vinci training. So a lot of the newer doctors are having training within the Da Vinci. So how long does it take? I think just like anything, even laparoscopic, when it came out back in the day, it's how many surgeries that doctor did, and over time they get better. Obviously there's a requirement for them to become certified, but as surgeons obviously they do surgeries, they get better and better and better. So even as a patient, if I was choosing someone that was doing the Da Vinci, I would say, well, how many have you done? That's just me. I've done 3, You might, it's up to you as a patient. I would say, well, maybe I'll choose someone that has done 500. And that's just, they get better as they progressively do more and more cases. And that's just for any surgery. For the tech purposes of training, there are modules on Intuitive. And obviously we try to find links, or we'll give you links to Intuitive. You make an account on Intuitive. And there's certain modules that you can take that gives you basic knowledge of what the terminology is. There's something called a boom, the arms, stowaway, chokes, and all these terms are what they're going to use within the Da Vinci, so you can manipulate those arms around, the manipulators, put the instruments in. They want you to have a basic understanding, so if they turn to you and say these terms, you're not too confused. And obviously over time you just get better as you do more and more.
Excellent. There was a hospital we went to, there were already 2 Da Vinci models, 2 Da Vinci rooms in the OR. So do you see it, like you said, I know you asked one of the students, Cameron, do you see it progressing to almost where the hospital itself will have?
Yeah, when I first started, and obviously Chrissy can talk a little bit about that too, is it was the SI, and then it progressed to the XI, and this is just an advancements in just how the instrument works. Draping technology is a lot better. It is progressively. It started with the prostate surgery and hysterectomies, probably the top 2 Da Vinci things, general surgery, colon surgery, thoracic surgery they're doing now, mitral valve. So I think it's progressively getting used in a lot more other specialty areas. But just like any specialty, orthopedics has their robotic system. It's called the Mako system. General surgery, GYN, have the Da Vinci. So yes, robotics. So if you're out there as students, you're going to use robotic surgery. It will. So it is the future.
Great. Well, it was interesting, Brad. It's interesting always to talk with you. Your new ideas and all our field trips and filming these as educational pieces. Our next piece is going to be on a surgical vest that we're going to be bringing to our PAC meeting at our school. Going to have a demo of a surgical vest that's coming up in 2 weeks, and we'll keep you informed again with these podcasts. I'm sure Mr. Durand will keep you informed on the future of all these different things we're doing with our school at Southern Technical College.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you next time on this podcast. Obviously, we're going to go over a lot of information. Dr. T has that vest guy coming out. So we try to give you some information. Obviously, this little small snippet of the Da Vinci system. Hey, if you have questions out there in podcast land, throw them in that messenger area and try to share this the best you can. And then we're going to have Chrissy, one of our other instructors. She has a lot of knowledge in the Da Vinci, and we're going to go to her as soon as she comes out of class.
Great.
So we're with Chrissy. We're just finishing up our discussion with the Da Vinci. The question I have for you is, what is your opinion about the Da Vinci, how far it's come in the last couple of years?
Oh, it has come tremendously far, whereas before where it just started out in our hospital that I was in was just an OBGYN. Now it's progressed into urology, general surgery. They're doing prostatectomies, robotic now. They're doing many things that they never used to do before. So yeah, it's progressed where that's becoming the standard of care.
Mm-hmm. So if you're a student, the students were there, they're amazed. What do you think they should do? If they, should they just say, hey, I'm never going to do a robotic surgery ever? Or should they embrace robotics?
I think they should embrace robotics, not only for their development, but also for patient care, because patients recover much faster from robotic surgery than any open procedure. They'll, like hysterectomy, for one example, is they will be in and out of the hospital in 24 to 48 hours, and then they go home and they recover and they're back to work within 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think the Da Vinci is just an extension of laparoscopic, right? Yep. There really is some similarities in the sense of the trocars, right? There's 8, there's 12 meter ports and all that kind of stuff. Just knowing the terminology, have you gone over with some of the students about trying to access that intuitive? Like the training, we kind of talked a little bit about the rep, about trying to get in some modules. Is that something the students should do? Look onto intuitive, get some basic certification per se, and then something that proves that they know some basic knowledge?
I think so. I think what we've looked at so far on intuitive, I think it goes a little bit too much in depth for them if they haven't seen it. I think after now they understand what we're kind of talking about when it comes to the arms and the manipulators and different things like that. But otherwise, I think before that they probably were like looking at me with a deer in the headlights, like when I was talking to them about it.
Yeah, we talked to Natasha and Cam a little bit about it. They seemed excited, and if I could just flash back when I was in school, that was on the horizon. I mean, Mako system for robotics for the orthopedic just came about. I think the Rosita is another version of that. The Da Vinci was the SI. Now, did you drape the SI?
I did.
Now, is it a lot better if you drape the XI?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. So tell them the horror stories about draping the XI. Or any stories you want to add.
Well, the SI is what I've draped before in the past, and it's just, it's just trying to get those arms and draped out correctly so you don't contaminate. I mean, that's the big thing, is the contamination of them, and it's notorious. Your first or second time doing it, you're going to contaminate. So first time I remember, I think I went through 3 drapes trying to drape that out the first time. So
yeah, I think the biggest advancement from the SI, the XI, is the draping. It really is. You can drape an XI, I'm telling you, in like 5 minutes. It's that easy. They do the arms and the column drapes, and boom, you're done. What was your final analysis of the Da Vinci field trip, and would you like to see more of those? And do you have any plan you want to see for yourself personally, field trip wise?
I would love to see more of those. Give those students hands-on capabilities is amazing. I think then it really sets in their mind what they really are looking for and what we're expecting of them. But yeah, no, it was fun to play with the machine again. I enjoyed that, and I'll have to think of some field trips. I haven't thought any yet.
Okay.
Also, and actually kind of move the instruments around.
Come on, Tori, Dr. Tori, get in there.
And
Oh man, first up, I'm scared.
Don't screw up, okay?
yeah, so go ahead. So it's kind of interesting, but most people put their thumb and middle finger right here, and then their left foot is on the pedal over there. So your left foot, yep. And so if you want to move the camera, you press the camera pedal and move your arms, and you can adjust the camera. But just go ahead and put your forehead in there. Yeah. So yep, go ahead, put your forehead in, and then just start moving your arms around a little bit. Yep, there you go.
Is it moving?
No, not yet. Try that.
It's not moving.
I'm waiting. Stood up formation.
You need to talk to her.
That's really neat.
So you just gotta, just kind of grab it and pinch it, and then you can move it around. Give it another shot. Yeah, here. So you actually, the robot, you have to have your head in there to move the instruments, but it won't let a surgeon move without looking at the field.
Makes sense.
Yeah. There you go. Whoa.
Oh, we can hear you.
They also can hear you.
The other one.
Be careful, I'll down.
Good to know.
There you go. It's really like
touchy too.
it's very touchy, yeah, but it's very straightforward. You know, it's
Cool.
it's really fairly easy to do. So
It's too scared. They're gonna break something.
but it's kind of interesting to see because you know how small the instruments are and how big they look
Yeah.
from there, right? So it's really it's pretty impressive.
I wasn't even moving it that much. It's funny watching.
Yeah, so that camera pedal, if you press and hold that, and move your arms, you can adjust, you can zoom in with the camera, you can zoom out. Yeah, so it's like left.
Yeah, you
There you go.
can.
There you go. And really pull your arms towards your chest. Yeah, or vice versa. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some technology too, like the camera can identify blood vessels, your biliary tree, it can kind of color code it to help you out too, like gallbladder surgery.
That is really cool.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you get the hang. Yeah, exactly. So one massive benefit too is it's really easy to suture robots compared to laparoscopic surgery. Really, really easy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's so touchy, isn't it? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I zoomed in, so you might want to zoom out.
Does it take a surgeon to learn that?
Yeah, so some surgeons pick it up quicker than others, but honestly the majority of them pick it up fairly quickly. They go to get certified. A lot of surgeons are coming out of residency trained now. A lot of them are. And then a lot of surgeons who aren't trained, they'll go to a training lab for usually 2 days and do their training. And then most surgeons say the learning curve is anywhere from like 15 to 30 cases, right in there. And then they kind of pick it up and it becomes like honestly second nature. You know, everything becomes very natural.
They have the opportunity to do robotics. Most of them will do it instead of.
I'd say so. The heavy majority. Like I said, with the adoption now, it's just actually within this market alone. So from Tampa to Miami, over 7% of England brains are done robotically, just in that area. So 7 and 10 are done robotically.
Get your foot off the pedal. Off? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So just make sure your head's all the way in there.
I'll have to pop on first.
Yeah, no, you see, yeah, put your head all the way in. There you go. And then pinch your fingers a little bit. So let the controllers kind of sit where they are comfortably. There you go. Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you said sensitive to sound, it's hearing sensitive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So there's a microphone over here, so they can hear the sort of talking, vice versa.
What's the cost of this machine?
$2 million.
Have there been any cases where the machine just like?
What's that?
Has there been any cases where the machine just like cuts out like?
No, it's really interesting. So we have like an engineering team behind the scenes, and essentially the robot monitors itself every day.
Cool.
So if there was ever something on the robot that might need to be fixed, Intuitive would actually come in like early in the morning or late at night and fix it before it actually fails.
Okay.
So
That's really interesting.
yeah.
We got it. Oh my gosh.
This now is exciting.
Yeah, it's something that
That I want to try.
I know, I was like, yes.
here, I know I have. This is good. Yeah, I should have written that. Get $1 out. So, no, you can
Wait,
really.
he's gonna put something there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I want to try.
Now you gotta grab it, Dr. T.
Yeah, so
That's really easy
so
too.
zoom into the dollar, and you can actually see like the fibers in the paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try again.
Oh, it goes that far.
You gotta take your phone.
see. That's pretty clear.
Yeah, here, I'll help you out here.
I'm not doing it.
So here, I'm gonna grab.
Good job, Dr. T.
Oh, are you trying to get me rid of that?
You gotta move the lens over.
Yeah, I gotta try that.
Oh wow.
So like, you can get really close, and it's kind of funny. Some people do this. You can like see like small fibers of the paper. And that's how well you can see. So I mean, sometimes in surgery you can see like the capillars.
Fingerprints.
You know. So also penny's really good too. If there's a penny, you can look on a penny and like on the back of a penny, flip it over. Like Abe Lincoln's inside the Lincoln Memorial, which I never knew. You can see him on there. He's like the size of yeah. It's really funny. So. Yeah, if anyone wants to get on and play with it, feel free. But this is essentially Da Vinci and what robotic surgery is. And,
It's really cool. I think this is.
I
want to try again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll wait.
Brad, have you been in a surgery room?
Anytime. Dr. Galliano, I can hear him yell at me now.
So what does surgical tech do?
There's two roles, obviously. There's first assist that play more of the manipulators. These are putting it into the actual body cavity.
Right.
And then there's a tech that sets up the back
Is
table.
that? Oh no. Okay.
But they're kind of going towards what they want to do everything now. It's about experience.
Right.
No.
In the beginning, you're just like,
This is like a real fine detail.
And you're
Yeah,
trained.
basically anything in
Do you have to be trained
the chest or the
to-
belly.
everyone should
Anything in the chest or the belly.
because doctors want to do this on all.
Gotcha.
Back in the day, it was a specialty team.
Right.
Now they want to do it out. It's not common.
Gallbladder, yeah.
Now putting stuff in and out, taking sutures out, a little bit.
Hernia, gallbladder,
Setting this all up.
hiatal hernia,
It's more complex.
thoracic, lung cancer, weight loss surgery, really common, colorectal surgery, colon resection, prostates, hysterectomy.
The speed is increased by how much would you say, like for a...
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's not like it makes them operate faster. I would say most surgeons can be more efficient. No, yeah, have fun.
You gotta put $100 bill down there and make it real.
I got one in my car.
I actually have one.
I got one in my car. What in the world? Why is it gold?
4 years, yeah.
Why is it gold?
I don't know why they did that.
Once they purchased this, you came in and do a training too, or?
Yeah, we do the training. We can go to the training lab. Yeah, there's some staff training. Most people pick it up fairly quickly.
That is really cool.
As these guys being surgical techs, what kind of drape?
Yeah, so each arm has its own plastic drape.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay, so it goes
Now you
up
gotta
to
crease
the
it.
top of this?
It goes up right to here. These guys. They all have like just a plastic drape. You put on, it's pretty easy.
And that's it? For drapes?
Yeah.
Just each arm?
Yep, exactly. Each arm has its own drape.
There's a column drape and then there's forearms.
Right.
See what these magnets are? Yeah. Let's stick in and just come down.
That is really good. That's
Good.
really good.
Work.
Who has not gone?
Halloween.
To experience this. The odds of you doing this in the real world, probably not.
Yeah.
Do you know Vin Brown?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
He's my next door neighbor.
Oh, is he really?
Yep.
Oh, cool. He's awesome.
You like
Yeah,
him?
yeah,
He's
he's-
brand new, right?
Yeah, he is. He did a lot of robotics in his training too. So I think he's doing a case tomorrow actually.
Is he?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he is. He does quite a bit of robotics.
Nice.
Yeah.
He did one this morning. Yeah, he said he did one this morning.
Yeah.
You have to come in and maintain this equipment too?
So we every region has like a field engineer, and I was telling them, so the robot actually monitors itself every day and goes through all these checks. So if anything on the robot ever were to be kind of getting off, then we would know a few months in advance, and we would just come in and replace the parts before it.
You get reports from the robot?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So it's just like always.
As long as you have
Yeah. So it's kind of nice.
Like the
We have a whole team of engineers
pieces
that can
bigger
log into
than
the system and look at everything.
most
and
of
they
it,
do
then it's still usable.
Yeah, it's always.
It's easy to
Going in class is so hard.
What's that?
We did it's like a laparoscopic safety
Uh-huh.
class, and the camera, the robot.
Right.
It's so hard.
It's-
This is so much easier.
It's like, I felt like opposite.
Yeah,
Couldn't
no,
really move it
it's-
right.
Yeah, you're right.
You're trying to move the
Very
camera, and it's just
different.
like.
That was cool. Yes.
Right.
It's actually good to be, yeah, I wonder what this is. We can hear this much.
It's kind of fun. It's like a game.
I think your fingers on it, right? Is that what
Your
you're-
face has to be in the.
Your face has to be in there.
Oh, I know.
Yep. There you go. So go ahead and let the arms sit back where they were, and grab them, and then just give them a little pinch. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
It is weird though, like it's so sensitive to how much
It must be nice to just be able to sit down the whole time
Oh, yeah.
and just move your hands.
And then you're standing up here at the field monitoring.
Yeah.
Well, you can sit down probably if you're in the back, but
Yeah.
as long as it's not up, you can
That's a good point. The surgeon just sits.
Once it gets going, it doesn't run.
Work all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mention on Friday.
It's nice.
Sit down.
Yeah, for sure.
Poor dog. It's getting manhandled.
Come on, Marie, you can get robotic.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Anybody else?
I'm gonna
Anybody
try
good?
with the dog.
Is there like a specific type of like training that you have to like for like a surgeon to go through?
Yeah.
Or is it until they feel like comfortable and like?
No, so they all go to we have a training lab, so they go
Yeah.
to a training lab for a couple days.
Is that only a couple days?
It's usually 2 days, yeah.
Oh, okay.
2 days.
So it's Easy.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Those are pictures.
So go ahead and let the instrument sit where they are.
Okay.
There you go. And then now just pinch your fingers. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Yep.
No.
I had to say here too. 2
Okay. You're taking lots of pictures. I'm gonna send them to
Take that.
I was hoping if I could get this. I did it. I'm gonna try it. So 16.
Yeah, 2 of them in this house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 2 there, 1 across the hall.
I called my mom on the way here because we just talk on the phone like when I'm driving and stuff. I'm like, I'm going to the hospital. And she was like, really? You're going to the hospital? I'm like, we're trying this new robot thing for surgery. She's like, oh, okay, call me on your way home. Let me know how it goes. I'll send her that picture. I'll send it to her. I need to get your number. Want to keep texting? Yeah.
It's not blowing up at that too.
And it's E-E-L-O-T-T.
No.
And your phone.
508-536-1777.
Yeah, they've been
There we go.
for
Now.
quite a while, several years. I mean, they haven't even been here, but
Someone use that before.
It's kind of easy.
So you play video games?
Wait, no, also, I've never used one.
Play video games?
Yeah. That's it. She's pretty good too. Yeah.
Somebody want to take it?
Good work. But yeah, like example for text, it's fairly easy. Take an instrument out, you just press these buttons and pull it out, and then all the instruments move by these 5 discs right here. So whenever a surgeon moves their hand, these discs move in like a special configuration, and that's how it moves. So it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward.
And how many times can an instrument be used?
Well, what's that?
How many times can an instrument be used before it needs to be changed?
Yeah, so all the instruments have a certain amount of lives. It's kind of like how many times can it be sterilized, but also be approved for use by like the FDA, right? So some instruments have like up to 18 lives. Some have 10 lives. Some are single use. For example, like energy instruments, you can't really sterilize them, so they're just single use. But essentially, every time you put an instrument on the arm and the surgeon just moves it once, it takes a life away. Exactly.
And they're usually 8mm and 12mm ports?
Yeah, so these are 8mm ports, and then there's a 12mm port too. So
How are these sterilized?
like ultrasonic, regular cleaning, there's a whole process it'll follow through, but yeah, there's the SPD kind of has a process. It doesn't take too long to reprocess them, honestly.
Do they go through a steam sterilizer, or do they go through
I'm not entirely sure that what, because there's like different parameters. I believe it's a steam sterilizer.
Okay.
But yeah, SPD kind of has their process. But yeah, they can turn instruments over fairly quickly too. So.
It is, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Steam? Steam.
It's very similar to any of the metal types of instruments. It has to be reprocessed the same.
Right. Yeah.
Now these might be a little different. I'm not really sure about that. That's a sterile system or not. Probably is. Very similar capacity.
I don't think so, because you can't.
It's not.
No.
No, it's not.
No.
Yeah.
But it's,
Yeah, the camera is different.
cameras. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, the camera's a little bit different than the instruments.
Yeah.
How it's
Yeah.
processed. Yep. Right.
Depends
Yeah.
on what they say on them, if they can go through an autoclave or not.
Right.
Because the newer ones, like Arthrex, you can go through autoclaves, the new camera heads.
Oh, got it.
So,
Well, how much is this camera? Just for
So the camera is 25,000.
so don't drop it.
Yeah, don't drop it. Yeah.
How much would like the whole thing be?
So the robot is around 2 million. It's like 1.9.
Yeah, don't try that. I'm carrying that.
And yeah, Intuitive also has some things in place as well where they kind of lease the robot to a hospital. So instead of a hospital purchasing it up front, the hospital will pay a certain price per use. And the goal of that is to help more hospitals like relieve the capital burden because surgeons are asking for the technology, and instead of having them wait or try to work the budget out, we'll kind of work with them that way too.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's going to be a high capital item.
Yeah. So. Yeah. But any questions for anybody?
I just had one other question.
Yeah.
You said like with having, for example, 10 lives before
Yeah.
How do you?
It's not hot at all.
Yeah, so it's kept track on the system up there. So,
The one at,
up there,
the
yeah,
one
so
at
it'll
school
tell you.
goes really
It's not going to burn.
after like 2 seconds.
Yeah, the robot will tell you when it's out of lives, pretty much. So, it keeps track of everything.
Does everything for you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, honestly, if you want to see what it's like, I mean, there's videos all over YouTube. Like, there's thousands, like, there's so many series that upload their videos to Facebook, YouTube, like everything. Yeah, so.
42 hours.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Great.
no problem. Absolutely. No, happy to, guys, no problem. Glad you guys can see it. Talk to Dr. Brown about it. He uses it all the time. Yeah, talk to him about it.
Right,
Yeah.
so you can see it.
You're right. So, before you go.
Last call for alcohol. Any more questions at all before we let Mr. Connor on his way?
You're good.
I asked my questions.
How much money do you make as a Da Vinci tech, right? No.
Yeah.
I did have that thought actually.
Oh, yeah. No, it's the same.
Well, let me ask you a second question. Like, do you see that it's trending towards where everyone's starting to learn? Remember, it used to be a select few.
Right. Yeah. A lot of hospitals are now like they want everybody to be trained on Da Vinci.
And is that because they want to take it on call now, probably?
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. A lot of surgeons are trying to use it for cases on call.
So it's in your interest just to learn it because more like your hospitals are going to force you to go.
So the majority of techs here are, for the most part, are trained. I think there's some that do like a lot of ortho cases, but this hospital does a pretty good job of having everybody, at least someone familiar for sure. No doubt.
And do they just kind of let the first assist up at the top part, or is it more someone that's a little bit more trained in that, or is it just the first assist?
Yeah, so every hospital has like a different policy. So some hospitals allow the scrub to put instruments in and out. Some don't. It's all hospital policy. So it kind of depends. Sometimes the first assist, sometimes the scrub tech. Yeah.
What kind of background did you have before you became?
Oh, I studied biology. Biology. So.
Better than enterprise rental. We had a rep for a prosthetic, and he was like, "Oh, before this, I was a sales, like I was a car dealership."
Oh, really?
He was with Enterprise. You remember that?
I do.
I don't remember.
He did the implants.
The penis. The penis.
As he's blowing up the car.
Yeah. He was like, "Yeah, with Enterprise."
Yeah.
Now I'm a rep.
Yeah. But no, yeah, happy to help. Yeah, this is basically what robotic surgery. When you hear robotic surgery, this is what most people think about, or essentially what it is. A lot of companies are making robots now.
Yeah.
They're all trying to come out with them now.
We heard about that because their patent is up, right?
What's that?
Wasn't Da Vinci's patent up or something like that? So now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other companies trying to make these robots now. So I mean, it kind of what it does, it kind of validates the paradigm shift in a way that a lot of surgery is going towards robotics, right? So exactly. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem, guys. Absolutely.
When they set up the instruments like that, what do they do? Set up this on tables, side tables?
Yeah, just back table. Yeah, back
So
table.
that they know the surge techs actually tell them what to do with the instruments, and they get these cartridges, they get this. And they set these up.
Correct. Yeah, that's it. The code is, yeah, it's just this.
I had a question. Yeah, there are. But is there like something go on Intuitive and take a module? Is that something you?
Yeah, so he asked me about. I'll send you the. I'll email you the link.
Because we have something that's overly complicated. Maybe there's.
Oh, really?
I don't know. It just seemed like you had to make an account, go through these whole.
So there's a thing on Intuitive. It will have each student make an account, but you can there's like the online certificate modules are on there.
Something more like a quick little synopsis of just like what are the modules, the boom terminology.
Yeah, it's I'll send you the link to that. It's all on there. Like,
All right, cool. I appreciate
yeah, it's all on that one.